Hi everybody, this is Leah from CJ Drill, and today we're going to be installing an American Standard bathroom faucet. Now this is an easy install, so we're going to find out just how easy it is to install. They call it an easy install because it has less parts to put together. You're just supposed to be able to slap it in, tighten a few bolts, and that's it. Okay, so here's the tools and supplies you're going to need for the job. You're going to need a pair of channel locks, an adjustable wrench, a screwdriver. It's always good to have a screwdriver with the reversible flathead Phillips bit. I like to keep replacement washers of various sizes on hand because chances are you're going to have to replace the washers. And then last but not least, plumber's putty. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so now it's time to install the new faucet. And if you come on in close, I'm going to show you some things you need to do. You want to make certain that where you're mounting the faucet is clean. So I've wiped this off and it's ready to mount. Now the next thing you want to be mindful of is you want to get yourself familiar with the hardware. Now this hardware is going to attach our new faucet, but from the bottom, okay? So this is like a bracing plate, and this is the bolt that holds it in place. So this plate here, the escutcheon, geez, I hate saying that word. So we're just going to call it a plate because escutcheon is a little hard for me to keep saying. So the reason you have the plate is to cover up the three holes. Okay, so before we install the faucet, we're going to have to apply plumber's putty around the plate, and that's going to create a waterproof seal. So the way you do that is you take plumber's putty and you make a rope. So you take off a little plumber's putty. This stuff is inexpensive. You can get plumber's putty for a couple bucks. So I've got a piece of plumber's putty here, and I'm just going to put it between my palms and roll it out and make a rope. Okay, so we've got our rope of plumber's putty, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to put it around the base of that plate. Okay, so I've just kind of stuck the plumber's putty rope to the bottom, just enough so that when we insert the plate and the new faucet into the hole, it's not going to fall off. Okay, so now it comes time to insert. I'm just going to use the center hole. That's all we need to do. Maybe it would be best if I put this piece in first. And then we insert our water supply lines. That's what they are. And we just scoot that down there. And now we're just going to apply a little bit of pressure, not a whole lot of pressure, because we're going to have to scoot it around a little bit, but just enough to hold it in place until I can get the hardware attached to the bottom. Now if you come in close, I want to show you something important about this hardware. This top piece, that's a flexible piece of rubber, and this is the piece that you want to be flush up against the bottom of the sink, the porcelain, okay, because you want to be able to protect that porcelain and prevent it from cracking when you bolt down the faucet. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place the ring on like so. Now I'm going to screw on that nut onto the bolt there. Can you see it? There we go. And I'm just going to tighten that up by hand. So you want to make sure that you take the channel locks and you want to tighten it enough where it firmly seats against the sink. So you want to see the plumber's putty coming out of the side. That means that it's compressed and it's seated very well. And you might want to just test it. Make certain that you can't rock it. We can't rock this, so we know that it's seated well, it's attached securely. Okay, so this is the drain assembly. It's the pop-up, and now it's time for us to insert it in the sink. So I'm just going to remove this. This is what actually attaches and seals. This black washer seals the drain assembly pop-up to the sink. So we're going to remove this like so. And so now we're just going to insert it in the sink. So now it's inserted. Now it's time to put that washer in. Okay. just going to scoot it up. There we go. Maybe push it up a little harder. There we go. You know what I really like about this kit is the pop-up drain assembly is all put together for you. Normally, you would have to put those parts together individually. And so nothing could be simpler than this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screw this on, and what it's going to do is it's going to clamp the drain assembly to the sink. And this washer here is going to create a waterproof seal. So this cable here, this cable controls the pop-up and the pull lever. And what you do is you just screw it into place. So we're going to place it here and then screw it into place. And that really should do it. Okay, so now it's time to we're going to remove this. It's just a plastic cap. The plastic cap is just to protect the finish here. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this styrofoam. All right, and I want to check and make sure that the pop-up is working properly, and it is. So it's doing what it's supposed to. And now it's time for us to connect the water supply lines. Okay, so we're almost done. We've just got to connect our water supply line, and we'll make certain that you don't cross threads. So you want to seat it firmly, turn it by hand, make certain you haven't cross-threaded so that it's tightened by hand. And now I want to attach the hot water supply line. And that's what this is. Remember, this is your water supply line, and we're attaching it to the shutoff valve. And you want to just make certain that it seats well before you start to tighten it, because you don't want to cross thread. Now, let's see. That's seated well. Okay, so that's tight by hand. And now I need to put the, the adjustable wrench on there and really tighten it up. I'm tightening that up. We're going to do the same thing to the cold water. And that's good. Okay, so now it's time to put the P-trap back. But this is an old washer, and it's always a good idea to replace old washers. So I always keep just a bag of spare washers around, all different sizes. So there's a new washer there too. Okay, so I'm going to reattach the drain pipe and just hand tight for now, because I'm going to have to make adjustments. And then my P-trap, same thing. And again, I'm going to have to make some adjustments. So now it's hand tight. I like the way it's lined up. Feels pretty snug. You just want to make certain that your pipes aren't cocked, because if they're cocked a little bit, that's a good indication that you're going to have a leak once that P-trap fills. So everything is aligned, and now it's time to put the channel locks on it. But I'm not going to over tighten. Okay, that's good. That's nice and tight. I got one last one to do down here. Okay, so now it's time to clean off the excess plumber's putty. You can do it by hand if you want. Just pull it off. Now I'm going to run my finger around the perimeter of it just to make certain that it's nice and clean. Okay, so we're almost there. All we have to do is test the system. And to do that, we got to turn on the water. So let's turn on those shutoff valves. Okay, so let's turn on our water. Check for leaks. They're looking good. Let's turn on the other. Let's check for leaks. We're fine. It's good. And now it's the moment of truth. Well, let me let the stopper up. Stopper's up. Let's go. Now there's going to be a little air in the line. So there's one last test that we have to do, and you're going to want to do the same thing at home, and you have to make certain that the P-trap is not leaking. The way you do that is you stop it, Okay, you're going to have to stop the sink, fill the sink up with water. And this is how you test a P-trap. You fill it up, the sink up with water. That's enough there. And now it's time to let it go. Here we go. So here we go. Everything's good. Nice and dry. So that's it. It's all it takes. This is one of those easy installs, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty doggone easy. Now, if a plumber came to your home and installed one of these, it costs you easy $250. But you did it yourself today, and you saved $250. This is Leah saying, you can do this. See you next time.